Good morning, it's Jayne here live, and this morning I'm going to do something a little bit differently to how I normally do things, which I'm actually a little bit nervous about, to be honest. So every morning I've been showing up for my live, and I share experiences that I've had in the past, things that have worked for me and things that have worked for the people that I work with. And I absolutely I have never denied that we're all human. Like I've shared this often, we're all human, we all have feelings, we all have experiences. And even if you're you often see these spiritually enlightened masters that have this understanding of a different nature of reality. Even people like that will have moments where emotions will come through them, and it's how they deal with them that is different. And once again, I do believe that sometimes they even may have hidden emotions that can come up and it undoes them. And even as a spiritual guru, that can happen. So we're in a human body, right? And that's just part of the life experience. And that's actually what makes it so much fun. But this morning, rather than me turning up and sharing stories of the past, I'm like, this morning I woke up feeling fear. And I was observing it, and I thought, okay, I need to get myself in a good space. I need to do whatever I know to do to get back to feeling like I can share with people from my truth and be, very present. And then I thought, actually, I'm just going to be vulnerable, and I'm going to share how I worked through that this morning. Because I don't know, I just felt that I wanted to do that, and I got really nervous because I thought, wow, I'm showing up very vulnerably, and that did make me nervous. But here I am. So the fear that woke me at about 3:00 this morning was this fear of, can I do this? I mean, I'm launching myself into the world. I know what I do works, and I've seen women just step into their power. Like, it is the most incredible, it makes me cry actually. And I know that, but now I'm launching myself into the world, and I'm talking about this emotion education. And this is like, a lot of people don't like to talk about emotions. I guess they see that and they go, oh, I don't even want to know about that. Totally get that. And so I'm looking at the way I present my message, and I don't get too hung up on that, because I think it's more about attraction than promotion. And I think if you get stuck in that, I have to sell something, I want to promote myself, it's just a rabbit hole, and I don't ever want to stand in that place. But what came up for me this morning was this, well, maybe I can't do it. Maybe I can't make my message visible. Maybe I can't reach enough people. Maybe I have no doubt that what I do works. I have no doubt that I can help women, anybody really, find their truth and their power. I have no doubt about that at all. But what I was doubting was, wow, how am I going to get this to, keep me financially responsible? How am I going to get this to run in a way that I'm not sucked dry from putting energy into it? And because I don't want to follow other people's truth. I want to be me. I want to be able to live this, life where I know I'm going to feel things every now and then, and I know that, I'm going to have my moments. But it's if I'm following the path that I know is mine to follow, and there's freedom, like this feeling of absolute freedom, that's what I aspire to be and do. And I often feel like that. So this morning I woke up thinking, well, maybe I can't do that. Maybe, I'm not going to be able to actually support myself financially, support myself in this manner, like I have been, mind you. But now I'm like, well, this is like the next stage. And made me feel very vulnerable. And I sort of stopped and thought, wow, so because in the past I'm like, I have an emotion, and that emotion will show me where I've stepped off my path. Because when I'm standing in my truth, I have no doubt at all. And I'm in this place where I absolutely know that things are just unfolding how they should be. I'm very accepting. And I've merged with myself in a way. Like there's no gap, there's no disconnection. I haven't stepped out of the love that I feel for myself, the love that I feel for my life. But when fear comes up, I see that as a, hey, Lisa, somewhere you've stepped out of your truth. Otherwise, you wouldn't be feeling fear, because fear is not connecting to the power that I am. Fear is feeling insecure. Fear is feeling self-doubt. They're normal human emotions. But if I can use them to see where I stepped out of the self-assurance that I normally feel, then it's a benefit, right? So I thought I'll get on and I'll talk about fear and how to deal with fear, right? Okay, so you ring a friend, you tell a friend that you're fearful, and you just share and you move that emotion, or you investigate it. You know, what is this? Is this a part of me as a child that, I might have been frightened to stand in the limelight, or whatever it was? Is it any of those things? And they would be my normal response, or I'd write about it. I'd investigate where I stepped out of my truth, and I would be thinking about the fear, right? And I'd be observing it. So like I can feel it hovering there, and I could just get into that story and let it go, and then it'd be like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to move out of this. It's better if I observe it and, I'm allowing it to be there. There's a reason that this is there. It's not my preferred option. Yesterday I felt like I was just on this magical wave, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how can 2 days be so different? How can I wake up one day feeling like I'm just on this wave of magic and the whole world is working for me? And this morning I wake up and I'm like so not in that place. Like, oh my gosh, like how can that change so much overnight? Anyway, I segue. So I generally apply my tools and strategies, ring a friend, do some writing, have a meditation, come into my heart, breathe into it, and, thinking about that fear and investigating the fear. And this morning I'm like, you know what, like, why am I even in that paradigm? Like, I should actually be talking about my truth, because the more I talk about my truth and what it feels like to stand in my truth and tell somebody, then the more I feel it in my body. It's like I give this to the world outside and I feel it being expressed through me. And I thought, I'm going to try that today. I'm going to get on and I'm going to share exactly where I am on my live and exactly how I feel, because I don't believe in labeling myself an expert. For me, that all of a sudden puts me in a box that means I can't be human. It puts me in a box that I have to perform in a certain way every time I show up. And for me, that's like, no way. Like, there is no freedom in that for me. So I don't want to hold that title. Sure, I know a lot about the emotions and I've had amazing experiences and understandings. But for me, I learn every time I have a feeling, and every time I help someone else through their feelings, I learn something. And my knowledge grows. So if I go, I'm an expert in that, all of a sudden, it's like, where else do you go? You're already an expert. But for me, every single time I share stuff with my clients and they feed back to me what they experience, my knowledge grows. So my understanding is continually expanding all the time. And I love that. And that's because I don't go, I know everything. That's because I don't go, I already know how this works. I don't feel like I'm an expert. I feel like I'm a human being doing a life experience, and I've had a lot of experience that I can share and that I can help people with. And I'm learning all the time. Every single person gives me a different perspective. So me sharing this is giving me a different perspective. Me sharing about my truth is like, they're two different paradigms, right? I can share about fear and I can share all the things that I do, that I've done this morning to help myself observe the fear and see it and investigate it. And I'm still feeling it, by the way. I can still feel this in my heart, this little bubbling up of, maybe I can't do what I'm putting my mind to. Maybe it won't work. Maybe my plans for my future aren't going to work. you know, and of course the head will go, yeah, well, that's normal, you know, like it's a new thing, la la la. You have a feeling memory of times in the past where it didn't work and you bring that into this moment as well. All that fear of failure as a child, the fear of failure, because me not being a failure was how I got love and acceptance, you know, and that is what's coming up for me right now. So I felt that I really wanted to share my thoughts. I know this is a little bit of a rambling, but I really hope that me sharing this can help you feel that, hey, we're all in this human experience together. And everybody, no matter how much you know about anything, you're always going to have moments, and that is normal because we're in a body and we are separate in a way because of our physical body. It does create a separation. We do have feelings moving through our body. What I wanted to share was, though, at the end of me doing this little therapy session online for myself, is that I want to start a new way of approaching things. Because I really believe that we're in a space on this planet where we can actually have a paradigm shift in the way we address our emotions. So rather than me focusing on the fear and investigating it and trying to figure out what I did that put me into fear and stepped me off my truth, I just want to start talking about my truth. I want to actually just verbalize that. Because when I stand in my truth, and I want to share this with you because yesterday I had one of my beautiful clients that she was expressing this new feeling that she had, which was, you know what, I feel this thing inside my body where I know I'm okay. Whatever happens, I know I'm going to be okay, and I can feel this power. And actually, I really want to learn more about that. I'm really curious about that. You know, I really want to feel it more. I want to investigate it, and I want to sit in it more because it feels so good. And that's what my truth is for me. My truth is this place of power. I feel it in my body. And when I sit in that place, it's like everything's going to be okay. The world is unfolding how it's unfolding. Things generally work out one way or the other. I'm doing everything I can possibly do right now that I need to do to take responsibility for my situation. So I know that I'm trusting myself to do the right thing. And now I've just got to trust, full stop, that when I sit in my truth and I speak my truth, the part of me, the real part of me, who I really am, the truest me I can be in this moment, when I speak that everything's in complete alignment. So just sharing this with you, just sharing about my truth with you, has actually taken me out of that fear and vulnerability and activated that feeling of truth in my body again, that feeling of power that I have on the inside, that it doesn't matter what happens on the outside. This still feels really good. And so I really hope that that's helped you. And if it hasn't, well, it's helped me. Because we can all be vulnerable, we can all be fearful. And rather than focusing on that and trying to solve that problem, feel your truth. Feel your truth. Feel who it is you really are. Because it's so powerful. I'm sending you love for a beautiful day. Thanks for listening to me. I'd love to listen to you too. Send me a question or, and I can share about this stuff. Because we're all in this together. We're all in a body together. And when you connect with other people, it's incredibly beneficial. Have a beautiful day.